Yeah, yeah, yeah. So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit of conflict or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because they agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifted. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. You know who I am. I'm Pam Esquire, also known as Your Law Intellect. Thank you all so much for joining us on today. It is Thursday, October 30th, 2025, and we are here to talk about Sean Diddy Combs. We have not talked about him in a little while, but on today, he did move over to his new home for the next, they say 50 months, they say 2028, but he'll get out probably before then, with the different programs that he is anticipated to participate in and good time and all of that. He'll probably get out before 2028, but nevertheless he has went on over there to Fort Dix in New Jersey today. So Tyrone Phillips starts out with the ball rolling, says, hello there, Pam. First question, will he be able to hold the classes he was teaching at MDC Brooklyn? Of course, that will be up to the Department of Justice, but I don't see why not. When you look at people like the Menendez brothers, they started classes up at, even though they're in state doing state time, but they started classes. But a lot of times it's whether it can be approved. They may allow it, but I don't see why they wouldn't. Why they wouldn't approve his curriculum, and that'll probably go towards some good time as well. Be interesting if once he gets out, they continue the program or still allow him to come in and teach, or even if he will be willing to come back and teach. Now, that will show that he really would like to help other people that are incarcerated. Thank you so much for the question, Tyrone. I appreciate and all your support. You always one of the first ones up in this here chat. Darlene says supporting the channel. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Darlene, for your support. Um, you rock. I really appreciate it. So kind of you. It's good to see all of you. Some people, newer Queen Shadina, she always up in this chat. That's what I'm talking about. Always supporting your girl. I appreciate that. Essie said, hi Pam. Why did you not tell us that Dennis? Why do you say that? I don't know if he has a mental problem. What are you talking about? Is it something that I missed? What are we talking about here? He seems sane to me. I don't Is it something I should know? Did somebody pull up some documents? Why did you ask me that question? Maybe I shouldn't have started this out with this Q&A. I don't know how this started out with the Q&A in the beginning. I kind of like it, but kind of don't. Is it something? He was online asking for money. Okay. Tracy said, I love when the chat can't stop, won't stop. Diddy bopping on the like button. They can't stop, won't stop in this chat. Essie, what did I know? What are we talking about? Am I in something I don't know that I am? Am I a part of some type of something going on that I don't know that I'm a part of? You guys have to let me know. Because you said I knew. Essie, I need you to explain. You noticed that on the last line. On whose last line? And how does that mean that I know? How did I get in it? messy. You can't just throw them type of accusations out there and don't explain what we talking about right here. Why what does any of this have to do with me? That's what I want. I'm over here minding my legal business. And you guys are trying to throw me into all the YouTube drama and beefs. You don't see I, listen, you'll see who the people that I really somewhat rock with on YouTube, and it ain't very many. And once I see the drama and everybody, you don't see me in the chat of a lot of these people that at one time I was in their chats and I was really, really supporting. And it's not that I don't try to take sides. I'm just a person where if you're not for me, because I'm the same person online and offline. There are people that start drama for content. There are people because they can't get views unless it's drama. That's what YouTube is about. And I learned that. I learned it the hard way, but yet I learned that. And so because I can't just turn into a whole different persona online so that I can get more clicks and views and all of that, I choose not to associate myself with a lot of that stuff. But what I got to do with it? Why do I have to tell people something ain't right about a person or something ain't right about that's for you to decide. It may be that that person is your cup of tea. You guys are mentioning names of people that may not be my cup of tea. Or I was okay with them at first, and this ain't to Dennis. This is to other names on the internet of which I was like, oh, okay, I supported them for a minute, and now you don't see me over there. It's a reason. But I don't understand how I get in it. What I got to do with it? Pam, you have so much wisdom. Please share what it is. Thank y'all for the super chats. You said lunch on me tomorrow. Thank you, Queen Shadina. I appreciate you. You said the YouTube, and they really like it's a world of which you can be whoever you want to be. That's just what it is. It's a world of who you want to be, who you really don't know who's really beefing, or if it's just for clicks and views. You really don't know if what the alleged incidents are between people. If you guys have watched me, okay, so let's, for example, since you guys brought this up, and I just want to make sure I clarify and be very clear. For instance, when the situation happened when Sylvia was arrested, I originally talked about that situation. But then when I started looking at the other side of the story, I didn't believe him. And he was in my chat. And it didn't have nothing. I'm on the side of right. I'm not biased either way. Just because you may have a personality that I could live without and I choose not to have in my circle doesn't mean I'm going to lie on you. I'm not that type of person just to want to believe bad because you're not my cup of tea. And I think it's a level of growth you have to be that way. This is how rumors get started about people because you just want to believe stuff because you don't like the person. And so once I seen it with some shenanigans in the whole game, he was in my chat. Let me come up. I can explain. No, it's nothing for y'all to explain about. Y'all been going back and forth about this alleged car and trackers and all of this stuff for a long time now. And then when he started showing up at Ernest Williams' hearings, knowing that she was going to be there, that wasn't cool. You know that there's a PPO or some type of restraining order, but you show up where she goes to do work at in order to make her leave. I don't care how much I don't like you. Stuff like that ain't cool. So when I seen that, and that's what type of time these people are on, that's not how I am, and that's not who I am, and I can never stoop to that level for content. So that's just me. I'm not knocking nobody how they get their money, but that's just not how I choose to get mine. So no, I don't. And then how the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So everybody starts linking up when they don't like somebody else. A lot of these friendships or situationships on YouTube are premised on because you don't like my op, we cool. Even though I might have dragged you a year ago, we cool now because you don't like my op. And yeah, and it's the comments be feeding into that. A lot of people in the comments that feed into that. That's just not me. Shout out to people that's who they are. That's fine. Misha said I caught one replay and they are like the Three Stooges. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. I really, really do. But yeah, I don't. Why does that benefit me to be a part of that? You said it all seems fake. That's some Jersey girl. That's the thing. We don't know. They could all be going out to dinner at Morton's getting steaks after they get that big Google check and all them super chat. Because the thing is this: in order to be a content creator, you have to have an idea that appeases your audience. You have to connect with your audience and you have to create content. It may be something that is trending, but you have to create it in a way to interest people. People love drama. That's why reality shows are so successful. They want to get in your business. They have to cause, they edit on a lot of these shows because they want to clip here from there to make it into a beef and do whatever. And a lot of these people, you want a YouTube channel, but you don't have the ability to make content. You're not content creators, you're content imitators. That's why you'll see when I started doing my YouTube channel, all of a sudden everybody and their mamas know the law. And don't act like y'all haven't noticed it. Now all of a sudden it's like everybody's covering documents, everybody's covering court cases because they seen a success in it, so they feel like they can do the same thing. The difference is can't nobody be Pam, can't nobody present it like Pam, can't nobody knows the level of my experience in the actual law. So I still have one up on being able to actually do it from a different angle regardless. But that's what YouTube is. Everybody's trying to figure out what can we do so that we can make more money. And drama said pulling up people's past and pulling up bankruptcies like everybody don't have some type of a past or whatnot. It's like it's tea. I mean, come on. They're not content creators, they're content imitators. So they all do reactions on everybody else's video. That's my content. So you take my content and do a lot of reactions on my content. Is that really content creation or not? I'm just saying. But that's just my take on it. But do not blame me for what you didn't discern. Because a lot of these people, I stopped really talking to like that or jumping on their platforms or being affiliated with them because I discerned what was going on and I decided, for YouTube, it's best for Pam to just be on her own platform and give out her own commentary. And that's it. And it may be a solo endeavor. It may not be that I could have everybody come on my platform. It may be that I can't collab with people anymore. It may be whatever, but that's just what it is. And then you become a part of stuff. The problem too, and this is for anybody new that wants to be a content creator on YouTube. It's tempting when I get emails probably once a week of people that want to come on my platform, want me to come on their platforms. When I first started out, I was like, okay, because in my mind, everybody's eager to learn the legal aspect of it. So I wanted to do it. But then when you learn the YouTube gang, then you never know if you're new. You don't know nothing about this person's reputation. You don't know if they've been messy all over the internet for years. You don't know anything. You literally, genuinely just came on the internet and you were like, okay, let me go ahead and try to do content creation. And I want to go on other platforms. So it was a learning experience for me as well. So you learn as you go. Were they people that warned me about certain people whenever they saw me on their platforms or vice versa when they came over in my chat? A lot of people were in my chat because I was the newest thing trending at that time. So I was getting a whole lot of people in the chat based off of what I was talking about. The numbers was numbering. And so you want to be affiliated with that because you hope that it brings numbers to your channel by being affiliated with somebody that got numbers on their channel. It's the YouTube game. So would they warn me? Yeah, but I don't go off of what other your experience may not be my experience. I don't know. You may have been the problem. So I give people the chance. And once you show me who you are, I believe. That's all. But I don't think it's my job to tell people who they should watch, who they should not watch, or I mean, you watch who you want to watch. And if you want to be a part of drama and that's what excites you and makes you want to rub your feet together while you eating your steak, who am I to tell you don't do it? That's what we do when we watch reality TV. Thank you so much. I come here first and thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Essie. I hope you understand. She can call me Pamela. Not Pamela. I only get called that. I don't even get called that in court. I get called by my last name or counsel. Only person calls me Pamela is deaf. Literally. Copycats with no place to lay their heads, they all need a crazy check or how you're acting out. I mean, the more bull crap that you're a part of, the more that it brings numbers. I mean, your analytics don't lie. That's all. Hmm. So, Madam, she came in here actually talking about what we supposed to talk about. We supposed to talk about Diddy. So they let Diddy go into a federal prison with the drug program. So yes, most of the prisons have drug programs, and it's whether you qualify or they allow you to be in them, which he qualifies. He definitely had a drug issue to the point where when Diddy was arrested, he had drugs in his room. He was trying to get his last highs before he went in. So that's a problem. So he'll probably be in that RDAT program, and that takes time off of your sentence as well. Right. She said, get to talking about Diddy, girl. That ain't what you over here for. Don't nobody care about none of them people. I hear you. I hear you, sis. I hear you. All right. So we over here talking about Diddy. You guys know that there were several lawsuits. Make sure you guys hit the like button so everyone know that we're on, and also share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. As you guys know, there were several lawsuits with Diddy to the point that we stopped really talking about the lawsuits. And the first one that triggered a lot of this was Cassie's lawsuit around this time 2 years ago. And after that, it was just lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. And it was just hard to keep up. A lot of them starting to be real redundant. You had Tony Busby, who filed a lot of lawsuits. I think he said he may have about 50 or so lawsuits already filed, and it's more. 30 days ago, I believe he posted that there'll probably be more lawsuits that he files. His lawsuits are typically with Jane Doe's. Nobody really wants to put their names out there. They're trying to remain anonymous. But a lot of the lawsuits have been held in abeyance, or well, they've been stayed, I guess is the best way. Because what's happening is Diddy's team is responding to a lot of these lawsuits, requesting that the case be dismissed for a variety of reasons, including statute of limitation. Of course, he's denying every allegation because there's a statute that everyone is doing it under, the Gender Violence Motivated Act. They're all doing it under there. So there's an issue on the interpretation as to whether there's statute of limitations on a lot of these claims, because a lot of this stuff is in the 90s, early 2000s. And so on a typical situation of like an assault and battery, which is what SA would be, it would be a statute of limitation. You only have a certain amount of time to file. And so when these statutes came out in New York, there were two different statutes of which you can look back in order to sue, even though the statute of limitation has expired, which again, I challenge the constitutionality of it, because there's a reason why there's a statute of limitation. Because again, evidence gets stale. You can't find the videos. People keep videos for 60 days, and then they might delete them. So you go into these lawsuits with your hands tied. So that is the purpose of statute of limitation. I get it. A lot of people are like, but it don't matter. Why should a statute of limitation? I think it's the same way civilly as it is criminally. If you have a case, you should be able to fight your case and fight it fair. And it should be fair on both sides. If you got the evidence, then you should be able to present your evidence and not be have your hands tied because this happened in 1985 and nobody has the VHS tape. Or it's happened in 1975 and nobody has the 8-track. All right. So that is what is going on. So because there were other cases of which people were sued under that same statute outside of Diddy, of course, this isn't just to Diddy, it's used against them a lot, but there are other cases that have filed under this same statute. They have essentially filed an appeal when the court has allowed the case to go forward. So now it is over there at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, of which the court will decide whether that is applicable retroactively or whether it's only prospective for the future from that day on, and all of the different intricacies related to the statute of limitation. So a lot of these civil cases right now, when people are like, well, what's going on? What's going on? They have been stayed. Now, again, Tony Busby said he's still filing them. He don't care. He's still filing them. But if you look on the docket of the whole slew of cases they have, especially in the Southern District of New York, there are some filed in California as well. There's some state court in New York cases. When you look at that, most of them don't have any movement since February, March, April, May. And it's because they're waiting on this response from the Court of Appeals. However, there was a recent case. Thank you so much, Just Lisa, for the super sticker. I appreciate you. And thank you, TBC, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. There was a case that was recent where there was a motion to dismiss based on the pleading that was filed by Diddy. And he prevailed in that case as of now. And you'll see why I say as of now. Now, this case was brought by Shantae Kelly, and it was against Sean Combs, Daddy's House Recording Inc., CEO, OPCO LLC, DBA Combs Global, FKA Combs Enterprises LLC, Bad Boy Entertainment, Holding Inc., Bad Boy Production, Holding Inc., Bad Boy Books Holding Inc., Bad Boy Entertainment LLC, Bad Boy Productions LLC, organization those 1 through 10, and individual those 1 to 10. So basically, organizations and individuals that may be discovered during the discovery process. So they sue everybody. Everybody they thought they might have some money or a policy, they got sued. So let's go on to what this case is. So plaintiff Shantae Kelly alleges that defendant Sean Combs drugged and raped her at a party in New York City. She brought a claim pursuant to the New York City's Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. So that is really the real name of it. I know I kind of messed that up, but you guys were picking up what I was putting down. We talked about it so much. And that's admin code sections 10 through 1104 against Combs and various businesses that he owns. Defendants moved to dismiss, and that's on the docket 55, and the motion was granted. So he actually won this case thus far. But let me tell you, let's go over that as to why he won the case and then why I say thus far. Because people want to report, I guess, everything negative, but they don't, or they start reporting the stuff and you don't finish it. I try to finish the cases that I start. I don't think this is the case I ever covered because after a while, like I said, a lot of this stuff started being redundant to come on 3 times a day because that's about how often they were being filed saying, Diddy got sued again. Diddy got sued again. And it would have just become the Bad Boys YouTube channel. That's it. My intro would have to be bad, 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 bad boys. You make me feel so good. That's about how much I would be doing Diddy cases. So I decided perhaps I'll just watch the docket and see what happens with obviously this statute to see if they're even allowed to use it, because that's going to dismiss a whole lot of cases. Because I think that is the statute that Busby has filed the majority of his cases under. So that will be very dispositive on whether any of these cases from that statute even goes through. So I wanted to keep an eye on that. But then also I said, well, I could read the order and opinion. And then from the order and opinion, we could see what the alleged facts were. And then we can see how the law was applied to the facts. So I don't have to read every complaint. A lot of it was redundant. And I don't have to read every answer or dismissal to the complaint, because those are usually 30 pages long. So I was trying to find a way to still cover it and be fair about the reporting with Diddy, and not be just a whole platform overwhelmed with Diddy everything, Diddy this, Diddy that, Diddy that, Diddy that, Diddy that. So that is why we are hearing this probably for the first time, because this doesn't sound, the facts sound familiar because it's pretty redundant in every case what the facts are, but the person does not sound familiar. So I don't know if they started out Jane Doe and then they came and they replaced their name because the court did not allow them to proceed that Jane Doe, which could be the case, or if this was a case that was just filed that we just never talked about. So let's get into the background with that long-winded introduction that I just gave. So when it has the background, it also starts with a footnote that says, for purposes of deciding this motion, the court assumes the truth of the well-pled factual allegations in the amended complaint. And they cite Hugh v. City of New York. What that means is if I file a lawsuit against, let me pick somebody in the chat. We beefing now because I'm about to file a lawsuit against you. Let me see. Tyrone, we beefing now. So I file a lawsuit against Tyrone and I say it was defamation or invasion of privacy, or Tyrone done smacked me in the face, hit me in the eye, didn't like what I was saying on YouTube. So he saw me in the supermarket and was like, girl, I don't like none of your commentary. Pop me in the eye. After my brothers and my husband beat Tyrone up, I filed a lawsuit against Tyrone. Tyrone responds to my lawsuit immediately based on the pleadings to say, I have not pled sufficient facts to warrant any type of relief under the law. So that is like an initial motion to dismiss in federal court under the pleadings. So, but when I file this motion to dismiss the case, because I can say Tyrone attacked me first or whatever my excuse is, when they do the factual background in the opinion, that factual background is going to be as if the pleading is true. So it's not whether they assume for purposes of the motion that everything that was put in the complaint was actually true. Yeah, my sister too. She be on it too. She's stronger than all of them. So no, I don't think this is the one. I don't know, child. It's so many of them. I don't know. The one sitting on the lap was from Detroit too. I don't know. I don't recall. I don't think so. I don't know, child. We about to read the background. But my purpose was, and I probably mixed up who the plaintiff and who the defendant would have been in my fake hypothetical. But assuming again that I am the plaintiff and I sue Tyrone and he's the defendant, he can respond on a motion to dismiss, and he can respond and basically say, Pam sucks as a content creator. She said things about me that shouldn't have been said. She said I ain't like my mama and I beat her. She said this about my kids and it's not true. So I want to sue her for defamation. And I respond and I may say, as the first initial response, Tyrone don't know what he talking about. This was just an opinion. I never defamed him. I got court documents that he did A, B, C, D, and E. So truth is a defense. Whatever my defense would be, they're still going to read it as if what Tyrone said about me is the truth. So that's a well pleaded complaint. They make it seem like everything that you say for purposes of that is true. So this is being assumed that this is true. So let's go. Defendant Sean Combs is a musician, record executive, and business owner. In December 2022, plaintiff, an independent musician, was invited to a party hosted by Combs in Manhattan. The party took place at a large, white, elegant residence that was accessed by a long, curved driveway. At the party, plaintiff noticed the widespread use of drugs, including cocaine, pills, and marijuana. According to plaintiff, unspecified individuals employed and working in conspiracy with Combs pressured all guests to consume the drugs that were being provided and served by the house staff. So when you see all of these paragraphs, this is all information that the court got from the complaint because it is taken as if it is true, the factual allegations in the complaint. Plaintiff declined. She said she ain't want no drugs. Later in the evening, Combs invited plaintiff to his office to discuss the advancement of her music career in private. Once inside the office, plaintiff began feeling disoriented as if she were slipping in and out of consciousness. She realized that her drink had been drugged, and Combs proceeded to rape and sexually assault her. Plaintiff filed this action bringing a single claim pursuant to GMVPA. So this was the only claim. She sued Combs and various businesses he owns, and we already just named all the businesses. So you go over the standard review on how to survive a motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. A complaint must contain sufficient factual matter accepted as true to state a claim to relief that is plausible on its face. And then it has all of the seminal cases related to the definition of the motion to dismiss standard. So the first point that the court makes is the amended complaint fails to state a claim against the corporate defendant. So this is all those names that we saw. The GMVPA permits any person claiming to be injured by a party who commits, directs, enables, participates in, or conspires in the commission of a crime of violence motivated by gender to bring a civil action against such parties. The amended complaint does not allege that the corporate defendants engaged in any conduct whatsoever, let alone conduct related to gender motivated violence. The sole portion of the complaint that concerns misconduct by anyone other than Combs is plaintiff's allegation that individuals, quote, employed and working in conspiracy with Combs pressured all guests to consume the drugs that were being provided and served by the house staff. There are no facts alleged in the amended complaint from which the court can plausibly infer that any of those individuals had a relationship with any of the corporate defendants. Even if the court could plausibly infer that someone who was a server at the party was an employee of one of the corporate defendants, the allegation is too vague and conclusory to form the basis for corporate liability. Accordingly, plaintiff has not stated a claim pursuant to GMVPA against any of the corporate defendants. So it sounds like basically in that complaint, they just announced, probably upon information and belief, it was an employee of Combs businesses who tried to serve me drugs. That's not enough to state a claim that they actually violated this statute. So the court said, nah, that's not enough. You have not stated any facts that would support your argument that they should be held liable pursuant to this statute. And again, a lot of them are going against the corporations because the corporations have more money. Corporations probably have business insurance connected to it to help to aid it. I don't know if they include torts or not because it depends on how your business insurance is set up, but they all may have some type of insurance that may cover these type of lawsuits. So you always try to go to where the purse is. So you try to get as many hands and pots of money as you can. And so this is why I think they're coming after a lot of Diddy's corporations and corporate connections, even though they don't necessarily have any cause of action against these entities. So that's why in a lot of these cases, they've been the first ones to be dismissed out of the cases. Now, a lot of the issues with Diddy himself is it he said, she said. Of course, you're gonna say you didn't do it, and she says you did. The court doesn't weigh credibility. So that's why you have situations like I said before with what happened with Cardi B, where we thought the whole case was ridiculous, but they had to go to trial and let the court and let the jury decide it was ridiculous. So yeah. Okay. There is a black woman lawyer that Diddy is suing her and her client. They even on TV and podcasts to tell their false storyline. No, the lawyer is backpedaling. Yeah. So that is Ariel Mitchell. Um, and actually, there was a response for Ariel Mitchell as well, because Ariel Mitchell has filed a motion to dismiss, and Diddy filed it against News One, I think, and I don't know, that may not be the right entity, but I know it was one of the platforms she went on, and so Diddy sued her for defamation and some other, I think, allegations, and sued the company that hosted her on their show with Courtney Burgess, who was the one that alleged that he had some memoir that everybody was buying, and he hit a quick lick. Everybody buying them books, saying that it was Kim Porter who gave him these manuscripts for the book. The family came out, everybody came out and said it wasn't real. It still was pushed as if it was real. Then it was an alleged tape that was seen. And so Diddy sued her and sued Burgess, I think, as well, along with the newscasting company. And she filed in response a motion to dismiss the case. Diddy has since responded to that, and I think he just responded either yesterday or the day before. So yes, that is actively in litigation. We'll see if it goes past the initial dismissal on the pleading, because if she doesn't get this dismissed on the pleading, she's going to have to go through the entire case. Perhaps later on after discovery, they might do it a motion for summary judgment, which you can actually add information outside of the pleading, which would be like transcripts from depositions, evidence found during discovery in order to support a claim on either side. So that'd be another bite at the apple to try to get the case dismissed. But again, that would be further down the line after discovery. News Nation. Okay. Yeah. So the corporate defendants have been dismissed. So now this portion was against Combs. The GMVPA, like all provisions of the New York Administration Code, applies solely to conduct that occurs in New York. Okay, so this is all conduct that occurred in New York. You cannot try to use this statute, and it happened in New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. Like, you have to have it where it happens in New York. This is a state specific statute. Defendants argue that plaintiff's allegations that the alleged assault occurred in Manhattan is implausible, and hence that she has failed to state a claim pursuant to GMVPA because, one, Combs has never owned a large, white, elegant residence in Manhattan that is accessed by a long curved driveway. Number two, no residence matching that description exists anywhere in Manhattan. And three, the description appears to apply to a residence that Combs owns in East Hampton, New York, not Manhattan. So the court is skeptical that defendants' fact-intensive arguments are appropriate to consider at this stage. So the court is not going to weigh in on whether you really owned a house, if anybody in Manhattan had that type of house. They're not weighing into that. That's a fact question. So they're not really weighing into his arguments and his defense on whether the person is lying and you shouldn't believe him. The court need not address them. However, because plaintiff owns own lawyer, so the plaintiff's own lawyer appeared to concede that they have not conducted a reasonable inquiry into whether the events alleged in the amended complaint actually occurred in New York City. Specifically in her opposition to the motion, plaintiff represents. So this is what the plaintiff says in response to the motion. So what Diddy argued is, you making all this stuff up because I never owned a house there where you're talking about. There are no houses that look like that. And in order for it to happen, to use this statute, you have to know specifically that it happened in New York. So this is what the opposition said. And when she opposed this motion, this is what was said in her opposition. It may be the case that an assault did not occur, quote, in Manhattan, as pleaded in the amended complaint. It may be that plaintiff's memory is unclear as to the appearance of the residence itself or as to the exact location of the residence. Plaintiff, after all, was drugged and then forced to endure a tremendously traumatic experience, only to wake up the next day disoriented and made to find secondhand clothes and shoes with which to make her escape. Defendant should not be allowed to use her potential disorientation or lapse in memory to have the case dismissed. Moreover, it is of no moment and no residence of plaintiff's description may exist within Manhattan itself as plaintiff pleads. The GMVPA applied to all 5 of New York City's boroughs. It is entirely possible that the house fitting plaintiff's description exists within the 5 boroughs and was the scene of Combs' party and assault of plaintiff. So they basically conceded they don't know where it happened. So the court said plaintiff's admission is significant. If plaintiff's lawyers believe that their client may have suffered from, quote, disorientation or lapse of memory, they were required to conduct some reasonable inquiry into her account of the facts before including the account in a complaint filed in the federal court. And that's Federal Rules of Civil Procedures, Rule 11B3. Although attorneys are entitled to rely on the objectively reasonable representations of their clients when drafting pleadings, it was unreasonable for plaintiffs' lawyers to do so here, given their characterizations of their client's memory as possibly unclear. So then paragraph 3 under here in the footnote, this is what the court said. Plaintiff's lawyer was being too cute by half when she wrote in response to the motion to dismiss, quote, it may be that the plaintiff's memory is unclear as to the appearance of the residence itself or as to the exact location of the residence. The attorney has access to her client and can and should have ascertained whether her memory is unclear as to either the location of the party or the appearance of the house. If her memory is unclear, the attorney should have said so. If her memory is clear that the party occurred in Manhattan in a large white house accessed by a curved sidewalk, then her attorney should not have speculated in her opposition that the party may have occurred elsewhere in New York City. The court said plaintiff's lawyer was being too cute. If you know your client had memory problems, why would you put them type of facts in there? Like, why would you just say upon information and belief? I know it was in one of the 5 boroughs, but you believe you was in Manhattan. Like, you're supposed to introduce it in a way that, hey, things may change with discovery. Hit that like button, y'all. All right, so let's go on. It is not sufficient to state a claim under city law for counsel to aver that it is possible that the events at issue occurred in New York City. The court can only deny the motion to dismiss if it can find that plaintiff's claims are plausible, not merely possible. It cannot make such a finding when plaintiff's own lawyers have represented that a material allegation in the amended complaint was based solely on the recollection of an individual whose memory, quote, may be unreliable. So you want the court to rely on your client not to dismiss the case, and you're saying your own client's memory shouldn't even be relied on because she was drugged. You see how that it was being used, I guess, to make it seem like Sean Combs is the culprit and the reason why she doesn't have memory. But it also works against you because if you don't have memory, then how you remember any of this stuff? Plaintiff further argues that discovery is required to help ascertain the exact location of Combs' assault on plaintiff. That would be contrary to the purpose of discovery, which is to find out additional facts about a well-pleaded claim, not to find out whether such a claim exists. So discovery is used to find additional facts. It's not used for you to just use it as your fishing expedition in order to make claims that you don't already have some facts to support. Although discovery may be used to test the veracity of allegations made upon information on belief, plaintiff did not qualify her allegations with such language. Ain't that what I said? I was like, they were supposed to put in there upon information on belief. That's how you remedy that if you don't know. So, even if she had, those magic words will only make otherwise unsupported claims plausible when the facts are peculiarly within the possession and control of the defendant, or where the belief is based on factual information that makes the inference of culpability plausible. The location of an event that plaintiff herself attended is neither a piece of information peculiarly within defendant's possession, nor an inference that can be drawn from the known facts. Rather, it is an objective statement that plaintiff's attorney could have attempted to corroborate in any number of ways before filing suit. As it stands, counsel appears entirely unsure whether the allegations in the amended complaint about the location of the party are accurate. And so the court determined that discovery wouldn't even help them out because this is your client's rendition of it. So they don't feel like this is even anything that discovery may either you know or you don't know where it happened. So in conclusion, in sum, the amended complaint lacks any allegations from which the court can infer that the corporate defendant engaged in any misconduct. Additionally, plaintiff's opposition raises serious doubt about the reasonableness of counsel's inquiry into whether the events alleged in the amended complaint occurred in New York City, a fact necessary to state a claim pursuant to GMVPA. Accordingly, defendant's motion to dismiss is granted. The clerk of the court is respectfully directed to terminate the open motion. It is possible that plaintiff may, upon further investigation, be able to allege additional facts to allow the court to plausibly to infer that one, the corporate defendants are liable pursuant to the GMVPA, and two, the events alleged in the amended complaint occurred in New York City. The court therefore grants plaintiff leave to file a second amended complaint. Any such amended complaint must be filed no later than Friday, November 21st, and must comply with the court's local rules and the undersigned individual's practices in civil cases. So, why I said that he won for now is because the court is allowing them to amend their complaint. And perhaps when they do further investigation, they can find out why they believe the corporate individuals violated this statute. And also they can find out where exactly did this allegedly take place. So they have until November in order to make these determinations. Now, Tracy asked, let me look and see who the attorney is on this case. Let me look on here. Y'all hit the like button for your girl. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Let's look Diddy up right quick. Diddy. Lord, my nose is itching. What's this lady's name? Shantae Kelly. This is no, this is somebody we haven't heard of. And they were originally a Jane Doe. Hold on. Curtis Law PLLC. I hadn't heard of them. There has been a miscellaneous relief update from Parham v. Combs. Parham was in California, right? Hold on. So no, that was not Busby. I'm trying to answer the questions here. That was not a Busby case unless somebody took over after him. Parham was in California. I don't know. Was it the Central District? Let me see. Hold up. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Got to do. We're doing some house cleaning here to see where some of these Diddy cases are. Just hold your horses, okay? Hold your horses. We'll be. Let's see. You know, he got a bunch of cases. I have to figure out where. Okay, this was the same case Drewski was in and Jaguar, right? I think that was the case. It was in the Northern District. It's in the wrong court, guys. In the wrong court. California. You said there was miscellaneous relief. Filed on today, October 30th. This is a motion for miscellaneous relief. So what was this order on October 7th? Plaintiff's counsel failed to file a redacted version of their motion to withdraw. So you guys know in that case, Ariel Mitchell was a part of it and she filed a motion to withdraw from that case. And one of the reasons why she was trying to file that motion for withdrawal was because of all the issues that happened with Drewski. And then she tried to come back and file some motion, I guess, to say that she found some clip of Drewski who was online doing a stream. And when he was doing the stream, he called his grandmother and he was like, "Grandma, ain't my phone still on your line?" And part of the issue was Drewski had said that his phone had always been in his mother's name. He just utilized the number, how like my son still has his phone is still in my name. So and then what probably happened is if decides to get off of my plan, which he probably won't until I kick him off, because I mean, who doesn't want to not pay a phone bill every month? I had to remind him, like, do you know you make good money every year and you still on my doggone phone bill? But anyway, I digress. Then you can try to port the number over to your own name. So what Drewski was saying is proof that he was not in California when all this big Tyler Perry movie was going on, because it was like these events. I'm not saying sometimes the truth can be the most non-believable stuff, but it was just a lot going on in this lawsuit from this lady. And apparently the phone records, and we went over that before if you guys didn't see that, the phone records revealed that he was in Alabama, but it was in his mom's name. And then he proved that it was his phone because now he had the exact same number. He just ported it over to his own name. When he was on this stream with Kanat, that's his name, Kai Kanat. He was doing some stream, and part of the stream with what their shenanigans were, they requested they were like talking about, hey, call your grandma. I told you my number, my phone was in my grandma's name even still. She just filed an order to extend time for counsel because she doesn't have counsel anymore. So I don't want to, let me see. I don't want to put it up here because I ain't redacting. I don't know if she got her name, her address. Okay. No, it doesn't look like she has the address. So Ariel Mitchell withdrew from the case. That's part of what Diddy was saying too on his response to the defamation about her filing lawsuits and then having to withdraw. So this is what she filed. This was the motion for miscellaneous. Plaintiffs have made a diligent effort to obtain legal counsel, but have as yet been unable to do so. Discussions are still ongoing with several law firms. The concurrently filed declaration details the efforts to obtain legal counsel. This administration motion requests 180-day continuance. So she's asking the court to continue this case 6 months so that she can find a lawyer. You said C not? No, okay. I don't know. I don't know their names though. That's the whole thing. I literally, I'm old, y'all. I have a 30-year-old kid. Like, I think people think I'm way younger than what I am. I don't know these people. I still turn on my 90s and 2000 playlist. So I don't know. You said it's Kai Sanat. Thank you so much for schooling me. See, I inform you all and you inform me. This is the relationship we have. And I appreciate it. Hey, good to see you. So yeah, so in her declaration, I'm just gonna read it because I haven't had time to see if she got anything that should be redacted. So she says the list below details the efforts to obtain legal counsel. Obtaining legal counsel to oppose wealthy and powerful defendants has proven difficult and time consuming. That's not your problem. I think my opinion is your problem is nobody just no see, let's be clear. You can make the most money by going against people with big pockets. So people that's making it seem like everyone is scared of everybody with money, that's ridiculous. Why would we want to go after people that are broke? If you go to, let's just deal with the logic of it all. Sometimes I just don't understand the logic of people. If I want to make money and be a lucrative law firm, why would I go after Mr. Smith who works at McDonald's? No offense to McDonald's. as a cashier. I ain't talking about the owner of a franchise. Why would I want to do that? Why wouldn't I want to go after the franchise who got 50 franchises and is known for that? Because I'm not going to have a problem getting paid. We don't sue for principal most of the time. We actually sue because we want damages. So most of the time, we're suing big companies. We're suing Walmart. If you do personal injury, you're suing Home Depot. You're suing all the insurance companies when you do personal injury for car accidents. You sue whoever got the pockets. I don't I don't get it. I don't get why people think everyone is scared. Can we maybe, just maybe, think that this case had so many problems in it, meaning Drewski has proved that he should be dismissed out of this case. And this is your story that you told. Drewski has proved that he should be dismissed out of this case, in my opinion. You have, to the point where Ariel Mitchell had to show cause why she, why, because you got all this information, you still want to pursue, I guess, him. You had, what is his name? Beckham. He's filed a motion to try to get out of this case. Jaguar Wright was in jail. Her name was in this case. She filed something saying she was in jail when all this stuff happened. Why would anybody not be a bit skeptical? That might be what's really happening. But as far as just thinking going after wealthy people get scared. No, we want to go after people with money, because how are we going to get our money? Huh? I'm just saying. I don't know. Courtney Burgess still hasn't been served. Is that incompetence from Diddy's lawyers, or can they serve? No, they may not know where he is. He seems like the main person. I mean, he came up with these allegations, but does he really have money? But you have to sue him because he is really, like, according to them, he's the one that came up with this whole story. I've seen him on a few platforms, so he would be a main character. But does he have money to even? Diddy's talking about, I lost millions, and do you got even thousands to be given someone? So it may just be they can't find them, and the only way they would have time to serve them is if they're still within the time applicable under the notice that you have to send the attached when you actually to serve. When you try to send it to them, you have to the only way that you would be able to do that is if you're within that time, unless you get an extension. So if you're in the extension, the time to serve, in the summons. I don't know why that was slipping my head. I was saying everything but a summons. So she basically says that she's done diligent efforts. She said the law firms and attorneys that were contacted and who have declined to sign on, or who are still considering signing, are listed below. Also listed are the dates that they were contacted and the dates that they declined. Names of the attorneys and law firms have not been provided to protect their privacy and security, but they can be provided if required by the court. So she lists one attorney in California. It was an attorney in Houston, Texas. So she's list number 3. It was an attorney in Los Angeles. She contacted on August 13th. It was a attorney number 4 in New York. She contacted October 2nd. Attorney number 5, she contacted in Walnut Creek, California, on October 27th. Attorney number 6 was contacted on October of 2025, and the denial was received October 26th. Attorney number 7 was in October 2025, and the denial was received October 29th of 2025. Attorney number 8 was contacted in early October of 2025. They have not notified of their decision yet. Attorney number 9 was contacted on October of 2025. They have not notified plaintiffs of their decision yet. Attorney number 10 was contacted on October of 2025. They have not notified plaintiff of their decision yet. So, attorney number 1, she contacted in August of 2025, and the denial was received August 11th. Attorney number 2, she contacted the Houston lawyer on August of 2025, and that denial was received on August 12th. I think I did all the rest of the denial. So she listed all the attorneys that she tried to contact, and they declined to represent her. You said he is a broke elephant looking for a zoo. That's not nice. Yes, Diddy is suing Ariel Mitchell, Queen Brielle. We talked about it a little bit earlier. The posture of the case now, where it stands, is that Diddy has sued Ariel Mitchell, Courtney Burgess, and the news station that had them come on the platform, that provided a platform for them to talk about this alleged book and tapes and all of that. And Ariel Mitchell responded with a dismissal. I did a video on it. It was very interesting what she was alleging. She basically said, I was sitting there, I wasn't even really talking. And then you have Diddy's team responded, and they basically lambasted her and were saying, and I might go over that tomorrow if nothing else happens. But she basically, they basically said, you were requiring certain amenities to go on these platforms, and now you want to sit there and act like you wasn't talking. You were talking, and here go your quotes. So she's trying to get, out of that and say that she didn't defame him. And yeah, they can still sue Nexstar if he doesn't show up. That doesn't, everybody has their own liability that they're alleging. Of course, Nexstar Media is going to allege that they're obviously a media company. They were reporting, they have privilege as reporters. But people, and they did mention people hiding around potential, using words like potential or maybe, and that's not enough, especially since you had Sean Combs' kids and everyone come out and say it wasn't true, that the book wasn't true, everything was a lie. So they're using that, I guess, to show that there may have been information that would have made you at least ponder on whether this was true or not, and you still decided to disseminate it. So they are fighting. And that's it. You said he was loud and everywhere before. Where you at? It's a lot of people we don't see anymore. Once Diddy got that acquittal of the major charges, and they knew he was gonna see the light of day, you just really haven't seen anyone really say much. But again, we're gonna continuously follow the different cases to the best of our ability. I'm not going over every little lawsuit that gets filed because, again, but a lot of them are redundant. They're the same, just different names. Some females, some males, but a lot of them are similar stories. A lot of them are filed by Tony Busby in different state and federal courts. And I think now the biggest thing is to wait to see what the Court of Appeal says about that statute, which is the single count that is being brought, because a lot of these cases were from back in the day. A lot of these alleged incidents were from back in the day. So now we're seeing what the Court of Appeals has to say about it and how to apply it. And then also, when the court brings down orders, either dismissing the case or saying, no, I think it's enough information to go forward. In those opinions, as you see, they'll give factual bases for it. And so we'll just do the factual basis from there and then see how the court applies the facts of the law. And I think that's the best way to move with all these cases. Because other than that, like I said, we'll be doing cases 2 and 3 times a day. And I'm not trying to have no Diddy channel where all I got is Diddy stuff. So yeah. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else before we get up off of here? It is 6 o'clock. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. If you have not hit the like button already, I know I get on your nerves, but I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and do that. We got 5 of our super chats. We need 5 more. Okay, we need 5 super chats for those that can give to the platform and give our super chats before we get off of here. Oh, one more thing too that I wanted to that I did want to address. We talked about Brian McKnight and we talked about his ex-wife and how she did respond to the lawsuit. Today, she amended the motion for default. She amended it. I didn't think it was worth doing a whole live on, but she did amend it. And the only amendment she really put on there is that she added an affidavit. So in that affidavit, she essentially said, let me see if I got it. Let's see. I got so much stuff in here, other people's stuff. I don't want to mix it up with mine. You're like, who is that? I'm like, oh, that's my client's. Might have to just pull this up. Yeah, we talked about that in the beginning that he moved to Fort Dix. Uh, Let me look this case up again. Do I got this in my download? Let's see. So what she did was she submitted an affidavit and because she made her allegations in her motion to set aside the default judgment, but she did not do an affidavit that was attached. Thank you so much, Miss Cola Pop. You said, wait, I thought the judge denied him moving to Fort Dix. Where you get that from? I never heard of that. Wait, I never heard of that, Miss Cola Pop. Thank you, Miss Sue. You said thank you, Pam, for keeping us informed. Thank you so much for the continuous support. Let me pull this up so I can tell you what Julie had to say. And what's interesting too, Julie be throwing little like seeds here and there. So on her Instagram, which I thought was also interesting, she started talking about the people that are going through because of the shutdown. And she talked about like, I was one of the recipients with my children on Medicaid. And that was one of the issues I think that Brian McKnight had. And that was one of the issues somebody put in my comments where they said he took care of them so well and he took care of the whole family. But she said she was on there like governmental assistance. So she know how it helped her. So when you like some of the stuff that she is giving, it's like, I don't know, he like lady. So she said she did a affidavit. In her affidavit, she just said her name, that she's an adult. She said she's the defendant. She owned and lived at a house in Raleigh. And she said from 2004 until 2010, when the house was sold pursuant to a foreclosure order and a writ of possession was issued ordering her to vacate the premises. Since whatever year, her dwelling house and place of abode has been and continues to be. She gave a whole nother, she gave an address. I was not present there on May 9, 2025, and did not sign or receive the summons and complaint. I guess she was someplace else. No one at that address has been authorized or law to be served or accept service or process on my behalf. So to me, based on this, it sounds like that is her house. Like before, it sounded like she wasn't living at the house, but she's saying nobody was there and nobody's authorized to sign. At no time has the summons and complaint in this matter been delivered to me by the U.S. Postal Service by a designated delivery service authorized pursuant to 26 USC. At no time have I been served with or accepted service of the summons and complaint in this matter by any means whatsoever. So that is what she said. So it sounds like she actually did live at that address, is what I'm getting from this affidavit, that she lived at that address. However, she was not there and she did not sign for anything, and nobody at that address is authorized. So I don't know, maybe if somebody did sign for it or not. I don't know. Because based off of this, it sounds like Somebody may have actually, but it was crazy because whoever signed it, it sounded like it looked like it was her initials from what we saw. So I was trying to pull up her page. Hold on. So y'all can see what she was saying about them SNAP benefits. And I was like, I guess she like, listen, I didn't have no money. I don't care what anybody's saying. And it could have been after she was divorced too, that maybe she went through this. She didn't like give a time period. So it could have been that as well. We don't know, child. We wasn't there. So let me go to wait a minute. Before we go to that, we got to go to this Clarissa Shield thing. This thing still be cracking me up. This whole Layla Ali Clarissa Shields. So y'all see Layla Ali. She did her second video today. If y'all didn't hear about the shenanigans going on between thinking Layla's gonna come out of retirement, it wouldn't make sense for her to come out of retirement because honestly, the real benefactor would be Clarissa. So I see why she kind of came up with the conclusion. I didn't think she was coming out of retirement, but some people did. So Layla says she'll not be coming out of retirement amidst online feud with Clarissa Shields, and Clarissa responded another long ass video and still no answer to if she going to take her ass whooping. She says she not doing it. What do you mean? She said, "Man, shut the f up, Layla. I can't take it no more. I'm not making another video. It's clear you are scared, old and bitter." So that was the response from Clarissa. I said the same thing, whoever you are. The fight will benefit Clarissa more than Layla, though. So Layla is actually smart for not taking the fight. That lady doesn't have anything to prove because it's not being funny or whatever. And I like Clarissa. She from, she ain't from here, but she from here. She from Flint. But the issue that I have is that who is really putting up a fight for that type of money just for Clarissa to fight somebody? But people will put up that money for Layla Ali to fight. So it will highly benefit her and move her up to a whole nother tax bracket. You know what? Not you calling her Clarence. Yes, I love Layla's response. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, I was hoping she wasn't even gonna. Layla moves like a business person. If it's not gonna benefit her, I didn't really see her doing it. But anyway, that was just a little sidebar. All right, let me see. Hold on, let me share this.
I know that a lot of folks are anxious and rightfully so about this shutdown, about SNAP, about the benefits that they'll be losing. Me personally, having been a recipient of, state help, government help.
That's all I'm gonna put because she got all that music in the background. I'm not about to be fooling up with you with this music. So anyway, she talked about she understand what people going through because she been on that as well. So someone asked Pam, could Remy sue Clarissa for alienation affection? That's from Queen Shadina. Well, that is hope y'all can hear me. That is a state specific claim that you can make. So you have like North Carolina still has it. That's why family law, private eyes, all of that is great if you're in North Carolina from a legal perspective. That's what Fantasia went through. But they were in New York. Plus it's not like Remy hasn't moved on. So I mean, she obviously is with somebody else as well. So that would be a little difficult even if it was there, but I don't believe they have that in New York. So yeah. But Layla is too old now, and Clarissa will whoop her, but only because Layla's older now. I don't know about that, honestly, because that old people strength is different. My daddy was whooping on my brother, and he was 20 something. So I don't know about that. However, I will say it just doesn't make sense. You get out of she retired because there wasn't anyone else for her to fight. She's moved on. She has kids. She has teenagers, like she said. You're in a whole nother, you're doing something different. She's into nutrition, cookbooks, cook shows. Like what why? That was a season of your life, and it doesn't make sense necessarily to go back to that season. So I never thought it was a good. The only reason why you would do it is to show you're scared. So essentially, you just let somebody bluff you into fighting so that they can benefit off of a purse that big. Because what did she tell you? Clarissa just showed that when she went pro, she showed on her platform a contract she signed for $50,000. Women wasn't getting paid like that. She made her first $1,000,000, I think she said, or maybe she said she the first. I don't know how much. They always pay women less. There's definitely a disparity, but she made her first million. I would say in the recent years, and I don't even know how long she been pro. She went pro like maybe 2008, 20 or something. I don't remember, but she made her millions, like her $1,000,000, like not fairly recently. So to jump from, let's just say, 1,000,000, it may be more than 1,000,000 that she got, but it probably wasn't 15. So she would basically be baiting her into allowing her, and I don't know how much they would pay Clarissa. That's the purse that she's saying she would have to even fight, to even consider fighting. She never said she would fight her. She just said that would be my consideration. So I don't know. Is there any other fight out there that people would be willing to invest $15 million on a Clarissa with somebody else? So I just I wouldn't have entertained it. You said she too slick, and she believe in herself. She believe in her craft. She believes she's the GOAT. I mean, I like Clarissa. Like I've been to a few of her fights. Uh so I can't say that I haven't. Like when she was at Little Caesars Arena, when me and Deb went to that fight. And I actually represent a couple of boxers. And so I'm kind of in that arena, but not really. I try to stay away from it. But I get into that arena kind of the same way where I get into a lot of my areas that are niches, because it's a lack of people that have the money in order to have someone look over their contracts and to help protect them from being uh extorted, I would say, by some of these people. So it's never been like I got into with the acting contracts I've been a part of, singing, record deals, distribution deals, the boxing promotional contracts, all of that stuff that I've been a part of have honestly not been a lucrative area. It was, they're young Black kids from Detroit, and I don't want to see them regret signing these contracts in the future, and they don't have the money to actually pay for an attorney. And in Michigan, we don't really have laws to protect any boxer in Michigan. So if you go to like Pennsylvania, New York, Nevada, like some of the main spots, they have it where like your contracts. I know in Pennsylvania, before you sign a management contract, it actually goes before the board where they review it, so they somewhat protect their boxers. We don't really have none of that here. So I have to commend Clarissa for getting where she got, with how she, because of what she had to deal with in order to get there. So I can't take that from her. Yeah. So a lot of the contracts are really like, they suck. All right, I'm just saying. And they don't really have the protection here. But nonetheless, I digress. You said Layla broke Clarissa down like some poetry. Uh, Tony B said, I love Layla. She ain't got ish to prove. That's kind of my Clarissa could talk her talk. I mean, I'm not into the box like women's boxing per se like that. I've represented males. So I can't say that, but I've had a boxer, that I've represented where, the connections and all of that is why was at a couple, a few of her fights. But I just, I don't know. I can say again with women's sports, period, you are from behind the eight ball. But in my opinion, I feel like that type of money would be offered because of Layla Ali. It's not being offered because somebody wants to really see you with Layla Ali, in my opinion. I think that it would be because people want to see Layla Ali fight again. Because when she left, she was like, what, like 28 or 29 or something? She wasn't even old, It's just she ran out of people to fight, according to her. So again, she says she's been offered where people have told her to name her price to come back. So if somebody says name your price because we just want to see you box, then she is who people want to see box. But it's ridiculous to tell a 48-year-old that they should come back after they've been out the game for 20 years and to go box. What would be the sense of that? Like, I don't understand. I don't see the benefits of it personally. Like, the only way you'll do it is to stop people from thinking you scared. But why y'all care about what people think? Like, people don't validate you. They shouldn't, especially on the internet. Girl, believe what you want to believe. That's how I be looking. Believe I'm broke. Okay, believe what you want to believe. I'm scared. Believe what you want to believe. I mean, who cares what you think of me? You just a punk and think you gonna like hood antagonize somebody with the whole like I'm gonna see you at 3 o'clock. Oh, you scared? She ran home from the playground. Like, girl, whatever. It was 10 of y'all. I sure did run and care what y'all think of me. I never have been that person to get validated from outside people. Because if you give people that type of control to validate you, then they literally control you. So, and that's what the internet does. People look for the internet to validate them. She did a response because she felt like she had to do a response. Then your response coming with a long-winded ass video. She said she was gonna do a part two. She said that. She just did what she said, and she probably knew you were gonna respond. And so that means that you fell into and did exactly what she thought you was gonna do, which means she's playing chess and you playing checkers. And then as soon as you did yours, you got your few thousand on your video. And then she came back right after that and she did a video, which would probably take away from your video if people wanted to watch it a couple of days later. So she started a whole new Instagram and a whole new YouTube channel just to address you. This ain't even a part. She like, I don't even want this to be a part of my brand and what I do on my channel with my food and my nutrition and my network. Like, she don't even want to be a part of that. She started a whole new social media platform for that. So yeah. Captain Bodie said, my mom used to say a good run is better than a bad stand any day. Y'all keep trying to act like you tough. LOL, Remy wish she was the boxer. Why Remy wish she was the boxer? I don't think she wish she a boxer. She exactly who she want to be. I don't understand what Remy got to do with this. Remy got her own little network and streaming platform. She not thinking about none of this stuff. So anyway, y'all, you guys, thank you so much for this conversation. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Again, this was originally about Diddy. If you guys just came in here, we talked about Diddy a good 30 minutes probably. We started out talking about Dennis and everyone else on the internet apparently. So if you want to rewind and see what my comment was about that, then we talked about Diddy and one of his civil lawsuits. Then we talked about Ariel Mitchell. Then we talked about Clarissa for a couple of minutes, and then we did an update on Brian McKnight's wife that she did an amendment. So yeah, that's it. Is Layla scared? Why would Layla be scared, Lisa? Listen, Remy already showed you how she moved. Some people feel like they too old to be taking falls. Them falls you don't get back up as fast as you used to. The older you get. So, anyways, is that it? Is that it? Um, all right, y'all. I'm out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Let me know if anything else happened. You guys got my DM. Go over there on Instagram and follow me if you don't. Pam.esq. Go over there on what's that? TikTok, the tick and the talk, and follow me over there too. And if you want to go over on X, you can, but I'm barely over there. But you know, there's that. You guys have a good Thursday. I'm gonna go watch Reasonable Doubt. If y'all don't watch that series over on Hulu, you need to go watch it because you're missing out. Okay. And then also the new Law and Order SVUs come on Thursday. So they come on from 8 to about 11 o'clock, all the different SVUs. If you want to see Olivia now, all right. That's where to be. Until next time, I'll talk to y'all later.